Jen Berkelmans here, and I'm here to guide you, highly sensitive woman struggling with exhaustion and overwhelm, on how to simplify healthy living and eating in order to get the energy that you desire. Alright, I've got myself some butterflies, my butterfly friends with me today, so I'm ready to go. Today I'm going to be discussing with you the top 3 myths that I hear about meditation and how you can start your own daily practice. So I apologize that I am talking a bit late today. It's been quite the day. I was making some homemade vegan burgers today, and the first batch didn't turn out, so I had to make a second batch. So things went a bit long today. So the first myth that I get, that I hear a lot about meditation and people wanting to start a practice, is that in order to start a practice and do it right, that you have to have an empty mind, or that you need to wait until you're completely ready in order to be able to meditate. Now, I get where this comes from. I think in our culture we're all about doing things right, and we have it in our mind that if we don't do things right, we can't do it at all. And there's this belief that meditation or a meditation practice is about always having an empty or quiet mind. Now, the goal of meditation is to focus on self and on presence, and to have that quiet mind. But that's the goal. It's not about the practice. The practice is to get us there. And so in order to do that, it just means regular practice. And so that means some days your mind is going to be more busy, more distracted, and some days it is going to be not as distracted, and that's just the normal way of things. And the idea, when this happens, so when you sit in a meditation, I often close my eyes, and I'll be sitting, and you don't often notice that you're distracted in your thinking. You'll get on a train of thought, thinking about your grocery list, what you have to do for the day, a fight you have with your spouse, whatever you're thinking about, and you will get caught in the train of thought. And the idea is that once you recognize it, you don't hold any judgment, you don't chastise yourself, you simply just recognize it and you move back to your practice. And this at the beginning of it, when you're first starting a practice, may happen more often, and it may take you longer to recognize that you're getting stuck in that train of thought. That's completely normal. Hi, Helena. So it's completely normal to, in a meditation practice, to get distracted, to get off course, to be thinking about your list for the day. So that's not a reason not to have a practice. It's just something to be to recognize. And when it does happen, it's just something that you just step back into your meditation practice when you do recognize it. What was I going to say? And then the other second part of that was that you have to be ready to meditate. I don't know what ready is, but so often I think is a common thing with women, and a common thing today, that we feel that we have to have all the answers, know everything before we get started. And there is no right time to start meditation. I think it's something that can benefit pretty much everyone in their daily life. And so it's just a matter, like anything else, of just getting started. And just starting where you are, just recognizing you don't have to start at 30 minutes or an hour. Start with 5 minutes if that's all you have time for, or all that you can handle. That's okay. It's just a good time to check in with yourself, to see how you're feeling, see what's going on. And sometimes we're going and going and going, and we're so busy that we don't give ourselves a chance to actually feel things and to see what we're feeling. So meditation is a good way of just checking in with ourselves and developing that deeper connection to ourselves and a deeper awareness of what's going on in our body. which is super, super important. The second thing that I hear and myth that I hear about meditation is that you need to be either religious or spiritual in order to meditate. And while, meditation is used in some religions and it can also be part of a spiritual practice, it is simply a tool that is used. And so, if you don't identify with being spiritual or being religious, you can simply use it as a tool for stress management, for quieting the mind, for gaining more focus. And meditation can really help you tune in deeper with yourself and help you gain that awareness with your body, what's going on, how you're feeling, what emotions are you feeling. To me, my definition of spirituality is simply having a deeper connection to myself. But it doesn't have to be your main goal with meditation. You can just have a goal of getting a better night's sleep or to feel more calm, and that's okay too. The third myth that I hear a lot is that you need fancy equipment in order to get started with your practice. There are, meditation mats and pillows and chairs, and I'm not going to lie that I've had my eye on a meditation chair for a while, but that's not going to be on my budget for a while. So, I'm just starting with what I have, which is actually just a couple pillows that I got from Goodwill store. I just bought my stuff from the secondhand store, gave it a good wash, but you can use a chair or a couch. You can even lie in bed or sit on your bed, or even on the floor on a yoga mat, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And you don't need any special equipment, which is pretty fantastic, or fancy tools. You just have to find a comfortable, quiet spot where you can sit and be with yourself. So now that we went over those 5 myths, I want to talk about my 5 tips for starting a meditation practice. It's fairly simple, and if you have any questions, just let me know. There are a variety of techniques that can be used for meditation, and different people will use different ones. Anything from a mantra that you repeat in your head. The popular one I think that most people hear about is Om, or focusing on a certain point. Some people will focus on a light, like the flicker of a candle, or different ways of breathing, which can help you bring you into a meditative state, or simply focusing on what's going on in your body. So there's different ways that you can use meditation and different techniques that you can also use. The key is to find something that you identify with, that you're comfortable with, and just starting with that and then seeing how that works for you. I do want to mention that there are a lot of great resources out there. There are great apps. There's so many different things out there for free that you don't have to pay for anything if that's not what you want to do. The app that I use all the time is called Insight Timer. It has free music and different sounds like water or rain. I use the chanting sound. I find that relaxing for me. And they also have people who post their free guided meditations on there too, so that's pretty cool. Headspace is another popular one. I think I tried it out and they had so many days for free, so it was like, I can't remember how long the challenge was. Might have been a week, and that part was free, and then after that you have to pay. But it is good for beginners, and it does have good explanation about what you should be focusing on in meditation and kind of how to get started. And YouTube has amazing resources as well. There's always people putting stuff out there. And then on top of that, finding a comfy meditation space for you. So my suggestion is that you have a space that you can use on a regular basis. It's kind of like the idea of how they say your bed should just be for sleep. The meditation spot, if you can use it just for meditating, I think the idea is that our minds and bodies are kind of wired a certain way, so when we sit in a certain spot that's only used for meditation, it can help us get into that space easier, but it's not a necessity either. After we're done talking, I'll show you my little meditation spot that I created, and I didn't put a lot of money or effort into that at all. I actually just got everything from the secondhand store for the most part, and just put some of my favorite things there as well. And then my last tip is just to try to meditate on a regular basis. I would suggest daily. I've found, I've tried different things, and, I would like to say that inconsistently using meditation helps, and it does. But for me, the most effective thing, and in my experience, has been a daily practice. And I notice huge difference from everything from my energy level to my mood, how I'm able to show up in my relationships, and how I show up at work, and how I communicate to other people. I just find that it helps me to be able to take that step back, and to, rather than react to situations, to actually be there, be present, and to respond rather than to react. And I have noticed it has made a huge difference. And I will be honest and say that my practice is not perfect. I do miss the occasional days. But overall, like working out or anything else, you want to be as consistent as possible. So, the thing that I do is the first thing I do when I get out of bed, unless Kaya has to really go to the bathroom, I can tell the difference, if my dog Kaya, if she's got to go first thing. But otherwise, it's the first thing that I do when I get out of bed is I meditate. Some days, I sleep in a little bit, and so my usual practice, I try to aim for 20-25 minutes, because that's what I feel is best for me. But sometimes it's, 10 minutes, and that's all I can do, and that's okay too. The other thing I suggest is, like I've mentioned for myself, that I do it at first thing in the morning, is to try to find a time of day that works for you to be consistent. And the only reason that works is like any other habit that you're trying to develop. When you have a certain chunk of time that you put aside for something, it's much easier to do it. If we just, say, oh, I'm going to do it later sometime in the day, it's so easy to put it off and not actually do it. But if we always have it at 5 o'clock, if we always have it right before bed or first thing in the morning, it's that we're much more likely to do it. And my last tip is just to experiment and find what works for you. As with most things, nothing is going to work perfectly for every single person. And so you really just need to experiment, find what works with you, and really, ideally, it is your own personal experience, right? This is your journey. And so that means finding what works for you, finding what helps you bring you to your center and to help you feel your best. And no one can really tell you what that will be for you. Obviously, we can give suggestions, but all that serves as being a guide for you. So if you're curious about, I'm going to show you my little spot, but if you're curious about how I use meditation or any questions about what I've said today, feel free to private message me, or you can comment on this post as well. And I would love to chat about it. I love meditation. I love talking about meditation. Can't say enough about it. And just one last thing, I have been mentioning over the last few days that I am starting to take one-on-one clients for, health and nutrition and wellness. And, so if you're struggling with energy and fatigue and exhaustion, and you want to start making changes to your diet and lifestyle but don't know where to start, feel free to book a free 30-minute self-exploration consult with me, and we can discuss how I might be able to help you, or if I'll be able to help. If you'd like to do that, a link is just in my bio, and it'll just say free 30-minute consult, and you just click on there and you can book a time that works for you, and we can just have a chat. And that's pretty much it. I will show you my thing here. I'm not sure how this is going to work, detaching my phone, so be patient with me here. Hopefully you can still hear me, because I unhooked my microphone, and I'm going to turn this around here. So I actually got this in Toronto at Kensington Market. This is a Hindu god called Ganesh, and the reason I chose him is because he is the remover of obstacles. So whenever I look at it, it reminds me kind of to reflect, is there anything that is holding me back, anything that I'm using as an excuse to hold me back from doing the things I want to do? And having faith that the path or the things that I, my goals and where I want to be, the path will happen. Anything in my path will be removed when it needs to be. So I have a table. I actually just picked this up last weekend at the Goodwill store for like $3. It was a steal. And I got these pillows actually from the secondhand store as well. So I just got this nice big pillow. This is my little back pillow. I literally just lean it against my bed and I just sit there. That's all I do. I have a little candle. This is my little tarot box with my tarot cards. And then this is just a box that was given to me by my grandmother, and I keep like little special mementos in it. And I have a little obsession with feathers, so when I'm on my walks and I find them, I collect them. And I found this cute little jar at the secondhand store as well, so I have that in there. And that's pretty much it. I have a blanket in case I get cold. I have my little salt lamp there. And then I actually have this. I do like this. My mentor and teacher, who I do meditation coaching with and who I go to her meditation circles, she suggests having like a nice little book with either like poems or quotes, or this one's by Louise Hay and it has nice little meditations in it. And so each time before I go into my meditation, I actually read one. And I find that often it actually reflects on kind of what I'm dealing with and what I'm thinking about at the time. And it's just a nice thing to kind of reflect on for the day. So I like that. And that's pretty much it, my friends. That is all. Any questions before I go? I hope you can still hear me. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So if you need anything, just reach out to me. And that's, pretty much it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And, remember that it's about loving yourself where you are so that you can get to where you want to go with curiosity and compassion, one step at a time, one change at a time. Okay? Sending you lots of gratitude and some cyber hugs. Good night.